All right, well, let's hear it for Doug Hardewick and the Gordon Pipers. Those guys, talk about tradition, right? That is 100% tradition of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You guys are awesome. It gives me goosebumps, and I know most of us here goosebumps every time we get a chance to hear you guys, so thank you for that amazing introduction. Sorry the three of us didn't look as good as you guys do, so thank you so much. You know, we're here today to celebrate something that happened about 200 days ago, but I also want to tell you we are 163 days away from the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge, and Josef Newgarden's first opportunity to defend that championship. But today, we are here to talk about those things that happened 200 days ago when Josef ended up in the grandstands, which was pretty crazy, and celebrating his first Indianapolis 500 after 12 attempts. First of all, I want to thank the folks here at the Stutz building. This is an amazing setting. Turner Woodard, who used to own this and saw this building as a dream when it was falling apart, has moved it on to the next group of ownership, and I want to thank Turner and the folks here at Stutz for keeping the tradition and the history of the Stutz building, the Stutz automobile alive, and it's so cool to be able to be here today doing that. So thank you very much, everybody at the Stutz. And Turner, I know he and his wife are here as well. I saw a few other folks in the audience. For those of you that fell in love with the Speedway in the 70s and 80s, you probably fell in love with Paul Page. Paul, you're here somewhere. Paul, can you please wave? Let's hear for Paul Page, the former voice of the Indianapolis 500. Thank you, Paul, for being here. It was awesome to see you, so thank you so much. You know, we don't get to do things like this without great partners, but not just partners, great family members who get and love the tradition of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway like all of us do. Michelle and the folks at Borg, this is such a cool moment because this is such a cool trophy. So thank you to everybody at Borg for continuing to make this the most special trophy in the world. Thank you so much. And then tonight, after we get done here, you guys are going to get a taste of Josef's hometown with Barista Parlor. Joseph's a big friend of the folks in Nashville, and the Barista Parlor here is Nashville-based. Great coffee, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I want to thank the folks at Barista Parlor for really helping us out. But this is a really exciting moment for us, and I know it is for Josef as well. I know he probably has a good idea what it looks like. You've just never seen it right there. But we do have a little video we want you to see of how this creation, and I think this is the 34th time our sculptor has done this, so it's pretty amazing. He now has an Indy 500 field plus one. But if we could show the video, the behind the scenes of Josef's face getting ready to be put on the Borg-Warner Trophy.
We took those photos the day after the race, and I did this study, which is a work in progress. And when I finish this, I'll do the smaller one. But this is what we've got so far.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So how does this guy get cast into the trophy?
I do really the same process in a different kind of clay, the actual size.
There's no trophy like this.
There really isn't.
It's very special. Do you feel any pressure when you're on a project, especially one like the Borg-Warner?
You know, after, 34 years, I'm beginning to get comfortable with this one.
I would assume, right? Yeah, you feel pretty confident.
And, you know, I've been doing this for 50 years, so I think I got it handled. But it's a challenge, you know. These things are a challenge because you have to show so much in something that size.
How cool, that's so cool to see. You know, I've seen other people go through this, but it's certainly different when it's your own.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
I bet it's an unusual experience to see yourself like that.
It is bizarre. I've never looked at myself in this context.
Is that the face you shave in the morning?
I think so. It looks right.
So as I noted, you know, this tradition started in 1936, and every winner has been put on there since then, and in fact, all the winners from the very, very beginning. Tony Holman is on there as well. It's very, very, very neat to see these faces on the trophy, but we couldn't do it without our friends at Borg who love this trophy as much as we do, and Michelle Collins, who is the Director of Global and National PR and Marketing for Borg, has been an amazing partner. It's been fun to work with you on this. Michelle, we'd love for you to come up and talk a little bit about how important this is to Borg, but how excited you are for Josef.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here today. It's really, truly my honor. You know, for as many times as I've seen those videos with, Will doing the sculpture, and as many years as I've been working with him, it never fails to give me chills every time I see it. And I want to give him a shout out because he's watching on the live stream. So hi, Will and Charlotte. Glad to have you with us virtually. It's just something that's very, very special to Borg-Warner, the trophy, and that we're really honored to keep the tradition alive and be just a small portion of this amazing weekend and, amazing experience, really. I just can't say enough about it. So as Doug said, Will has been doing the sculpting for us for 34 years now. We honored him with his own baby Borg earlier this year in recognition of that, which I think took him by complete surprise, and it was amazing that we were able to keep it secret with our friends at IMS and IndyCar, so we really do appreciate this. As you may know, the museum is under renovation right now, so we're taking time to really put in some amazing things with the new exhibits, and I've seen Joe Hale here also from the museum and some of our curators and trophy handlers there, so be sure to watch along on their social channels as well for the unveiling in April of 2025. But again, it's just our honor to be here, and thanks for coming today.
All right, thank you, Michelle. I think next we probably should talk to our champion from this year's Indianapolis 500. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Indianapolis 500 champion, Josef Newgarden. I'm starting to cry up here, and I'm not sure why. So 200 days ago, your life sort of changed, and this is maybe the first beginning of the gift that at some level doesn't quit giving, winning the Indianapolis 500. You've got more Borg-Warner activities that'll take place. You get that baby Borg at some point in time, all these things. Has it set in yet that after 12 runnings that it took, you finally won the Indianapolis 500?
Well, I thought it did at first, but it keeps hitting me every time we go through something new. And this is by far the coolest holiday season I've ever had. It is just, it is nonstop, as you said, Doug. I've got to say, it is, to me, the highest honor that you can have in motorsports, looking at the history and the pedigree of this event. It truly has transcended motorsports and the motor industry, if you will, what this race has been about from the very beginning. So it has been surreal for me to finally be able to win personally. Of course, it's much more than me. This was a team effort by so many people. Just to have this career, I think, just being a part of the Indianapolis 500, to be able to qualify for the event is a huge deal. So to be able to win it actually is just something I can't describe. And I wasn't able to describe it until I was able to finally win it with our team. So it's been, I lose words, to be honest, Doug, because I want to be so respectful of what this event is and what it means to so many people in this community and what everybody has done to be a custodian for the event to make sure that this great race is held to the highest standard. I think it deserves that because of what it is and the history of it. So I lose words at times to speak eloquently enough about what it is, but it means a lot to me to be a part of it, and it has been a huge honor to be a champion of the event now.
So you're from Nashville, you still live in Tennessee, but much of your early racing years were here in Indiana on the west side at Newcastle Motorsport Park, and then certainly in the ladder system. Do you feel a little bit like you're carrying some of that Hoosier pride with you when you get a chance to represent not just the IndyCar series, but now as an Indy 500 champion?
Yeah, Indiana has a very special place to me. Even Doug knows me probably much better than most people in this room know. Or know about, because I grew up racing with Doug's stepson, Connor Daly, and Newcastle, Indiana was really my home that I started racing at, and I wanted to be a race car driver one day. I didn't really know what that would look like, and Indiana was really the best place to go to for a driver like me when I was 13 years old and wanted to get involved with my dad. This was the place to go, and so naturally you see the Indianapolis 500, you learn about the history, the tradition. And I just remember spending so much time here, dreaming about doing this for a living. I've been at your house with Connor, dreaming about being a race car driver when I was a young kid. So to fully get here and have the chances that I've had, I can never repay that, to so many different individuals, but I definitely carry that Hoosier pride in a lot of ways. I love when I meet people from Indiana or people that have family from Indiana. You meet them all over the world, and as soon as you talk to them and you hear they're from Indiana, they know exactly what the Indy 500 means and the significance of it, and they speak so pridefully about it. And everybody that's been here knows exactly what that means and why the Indy 500 is so special. So I feel like I'm a part of that community, and I want to spread that message. And that's why I say it's important for all of us to make sure that we honor this event and try and elevate it every single year, because it deserves that with the history that it has. So absolutely, the Hoosier, the Hoosier heart is definitely in there with me.
So I know that you won the Indianapolis 500 and you got a chance to celebrate it, but it was a challenge for you because you were in the middle of the NTT IndyCar Series fight and were one of those challengers that went all the way to the end, and you had to sort of put the Indy 500 victory aside for a minute. And I heard you say several times, right now, I don't want to celebrate the Indy 500. I want to win a championship. Now that you've gotten through the season, when you get a chance to see things like this, are you able to look back and go, that win in the Indy 500 was super special? And yeah, I would have loved to win the NTT IndyCar Series championship, but winning at Indianapolis makes for a pretty good year.
It really does. It has made the year a lot easier in so many respects. Once the championship was over, as you talked about, it was easy to reflect on the Indy 500 and say, wow, this was a big year in so many ways just because of that singular event and achieving this objective. I used to. It's funny because you always get the question: would you rather win the Indy 500 or would you rather win the championship? And I always struggled to answer that. My answer naturally would be, well, you want to win both, and I still feel that way. I think you want to win both on the year. But now, having won the Indy 500, I think my perspective has changed. I would, hands down, love to win the Indianapolis 500 over a championship, because it is so difficult to get it right on that single day. You only have, the one chance every year, and it's such a build-up. There's so much pressure. There's so much commitment that everybody has put in that now, having actually achieved it, I want to win it more than I've ever wanted to win it. And I think that's fascinating that, when you've never won it, you would think, well, once you finally win it, you're probably going to be happy and you don't have to win it again. When you win the race, you'll never want to win it more in your life after winning it. It's crazy that the effect that it has on you. So I can't wait to get back here in May. I want to do it again, and I want to be better than I was last year. And, Indianapolis just has that effect on you.
So what makes the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indy 500 so special are traditions like the Borg-Warner Trophy, but really it's the traditions that those 330,000 people bring to the Speedway, their own family traditions. It is all about the fans. Our traditions don't exist but for the fans. You created almost an unbelievable thank you to those fans who make a huge commitment to spend their whole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, fight through the traffic, both coming and going, all the things that they go through. I've never seen a gift from a driver. I thought Elio gave the perfect gift, running down the front stretch. You kind of took it to another level. Talk a minute about what that moment was like when you won the Indy 500. You didn't celebrate with your team first. You took it to the people that make the Speedway special, those 330,000 fans.
I must say, Doug, I have dreamed of that moment. I have. It's impossible to not think about, what would it be like if you actually win the race. And, ever since I started coming here in 2012 to actually race in the event, I just thought it would be the coolest thing ever to be able to go into the crowd. Elio really set such a standard. When he climbed the fence, there's not a person that I've met that's more infectious, that's more heartfelt and passionate than Elio Castroneves. And everybody knows him as Spider-Man, and he had such a cool tradition that he created. And I thought, well, I don't want to climb the fence. I want to go through the fence. I want to see the crowd. I want to see the people. There is nowhere else in the world in sport like the Indy 500. You do not have the emotion, the commitment, the magnitude. The amount of people that are there that day is indescribable. It doesn't translate through TV. Even though it looks pretty impressive on TV, you still don't get the perspective that you have when you're there in reality. And so I just always felt like that would be the coolest way to win the race. I knew exactly where I was going to go. As soon as I crossed the line, everyone went quiet too. I was trying to talk to the team, and they wouldn't answer me back. So I thought, no problem. I know exactly where I'm going to park and where I'm going. And it was a really cool moment for me personally, just to be able to soak that in and to be in the crowd. It didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to go, Doug, to be honest with you. in my head, I thought, well, I'm going to go through the fence, I'm going to celebrate with everybody, and then I'm going to go to the top of the stands, the very top. And I didn't get even close to the top. It just wasn't going to happen. There's a lot of people, and I got a little bit nervous at one point. But we got back to the front straight, and it was great. And, you know, the fans here they're just different. It's a culture that you can't describe. The Indy 500 is so special to everybody that's from Indiana, and it's understandable when you see it and you finally experience it in person. You know, there's one thing I want to say, too. I don't want to be cheesy tonight, and I know I probably am recently, but I don't want to overstate this. I said this at the banquet, and I mean this. There is no bad seat at the Indy 500. It doesn't matter where you're sitting or what your job is or what your title is. We all make the event what it is at the end of the day. There's 300,000+ people there, and without all of us, the Indy 500 isn't, you know, the greatest spectacle in racing. So I have that perspective years now, having been a part of it, and I just think we should all be proud of making it, you know, what it is on the day. So I'm honored to be a part of it. It is the coolest race in the world. You can't beat it.
So one of the neat things that our folks at IMS Production did, they were so excited about you going through the fence and in with the crowd, they came up with the idea that let's figure out how we capture that in video. And so our team, the social team and the IMSP team started looking at people that had posted their view of Josef coming into the grandstands. And we compiled a bunch of images, videos, so a lot of different point of view of your celebration. We want to play that video right now, which is IMSP's video, it's some of NBC's video, and it's a lot of your fans' video as you go into the crowd. And there's a point in where I can go, man, he's got to be nervous with all these people around him, but it's awesome. Let's see this video.
It's Memorial Day weekend. We're in Indianapolis with just 2 laps remaining.
If you want to win the Indy 500, it's time to tighten your belt and get up and go.
They are coming to the green, and it's going to be a 2.5-mile sprint. Green flag flies at the speedway.
Newgarden with a monster run off turn 2. Josef Newgarden has taken the lead of the Indianapolis 500.
Bring her home, buddy.
Josef Newgarden will win the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
It's the captain's 19th win.
Finally!
Josef Newgarden has parked that car on the yard of bricks, and he's hopping out as we speak.
In the words of Al Unser Jr., you just don't know what Indy means, but that is a great way really to see what it means. Last lap pass. It's only happened 3 times in history where we've had a last lap pass for the win. Very cool that you could give Roger his 19th. You saw Roger on the top there. Roger stays out of race control. He stays off team radio. He stands up there and paces back and forth, and that was a really cool way for him to celebrate. But now it's time to celebrate you and celebrate our history with Borg. So Michelle and Josef, if you could take your positions at the Borg-Warner Trophy. We are getting ready to show Josef Newgarden his face on the Borg-Warner Trophy for the first time. You obviously saw the big sculpture. This is the real deal. So for the first time in Josef's time here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Josef, welcome to the club, the Indianapolis 500 Winners Club and the Borg-Warner Trophy. Hey, Josef. So first thoughts there. What's that look like?
Well, it's smaller than me. No, it looks amazing. You know, the work that goes into this is obviously, you know, it's intimate. It's very precisioned, and you know, I don't know another, just like this race as a whole, I don't know another trophy like this in sport anywhere. There isn't. You know, it's just another specialty to what the Indianapolis 500 represents. So, you know, everybody at BorgWarner, what you guys do to carry the tradition. I mean, you've carried this tradition for so many years. So I think we're all custodians. That's what I was talking about. We are all custodians of this event with, you know, a duty to carry it forward and make it bigger and better every single year. So just to be up there and know that it's not going to go away, at least that's the way I understand it. It stays there forever. That is highest honor, Doug, the highest honor.
Well, congratulations. Let's hear it one more time for Josef Newgarden. And Michelle, Joseph, give Michelle the mic one more time. I know you get to do a lot of cool things with BorgWarner
Yes.
on a global scale, not just around racing, but how cool is this moment for you in your annual schedule of things you get to do?
This is probably one of the most fun things that I do all year. I feel so honored, and I've learned so much personally just through this job and over the last 10 years of doing it. But it's just so exciting just to see the drivers' reactions, the gratitude, what an impact it has on them, just warms my heart, and I know everybody else in the company too, and we just really feel honored. I mean, like you said, there's really nothing like this, absolutely nothing like this, and to be just a small part of it like I am able to is truly an honor. And everybody to, you know, meet and be with everybody at not only IndyCar, but also at IMS, at the museum, the drivers. Everybody is so humble. I've never met anybody there that I dislike. All working together, like you said, to be stewards of the greatest race in the world and the most exciting weekend, in my opinion. So we're honored.
And the greatest trophy in the world.
The greatest trophy in the world, too. We're honored. Oh, yes, as Steve pointed out, Joseph's birthday is next week. So, no, hopefully this is an early present for you. So,
He doesn't need anything else. He's all good. Except
we're-
another one.
We're looking forward to being able to give you the baby Borg soon, and then you'll have that in perpetuity.
Well, let's hear it one more time for Borg and their continued support of this amazing tradition. So with that, we are going to keep Joseph and Michelle up here. We're going to do a few photos, but I want to thank everybody at the Stutz Center one more time for allowing us to do this here. What a great place. The history of Indianapolis, the history of Indiana, the history of the automobile, a lot of it started right here. Early days of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of those folks who are on that trophy have spent time here in the Stutz Center. So thank you for hosting us to everybody here at the Stutz Center. And Barista Parlor, thank you so much for allowing us to continue the tradition. Our friends at the Gordon Pipers, they're going to lead us that way. So hang out, come on over, get a snack, check out Barista Parlor. Joseph will tell you, it is not a Hoosier thing, it's a Nashville thing, but it is absolutely incredible. My niece, the other day I showed up somewhere and she said, have you heard about this coffee? I had to go downtown and get it, called Barista Parlor. So please check out Barista Parlor. Thank you to them for the support. And in the meantime, enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your holidays, and we will see you as he defends his championship 163 days from now at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.